Yeah, Mike, it's interesting that you mentioned that the demand for a strong boat in South Africa, a well-made boat, is critical. But how do you cope with the changes, and what are you doing? What technology is behind making a stronger, lighter boat?
Allan, originally we started using marine ply,
Hmm.
and for many, many years it was a product of choice. The quality of the material we're getting locally at the moment, I don't believe is up to spec. So we've looked at core materials, airexes, cuses,
Hmm.
honeycomb products, and rigid foams in certain parts of the boat to give us the strength that we need and obviously make a boat a bit lighter. And I've got some of those
Yeah, okay,
materials to
yeah.
show you.
Tell,
Yeah.
identify some of those things for us and tell us a little bit about that.
This is an offcut of SBC.
Yep.
It is a core material, so it's very good for holding screws and bolts and things like that. And we obviously make a sandwich construction with chopped strand mat. We use this material in transoms.
Okay.
We also use a CUSA product, which is an imported product, which is a piece like this, and it's got fibre in it. We buy it in sheet form and then laminate it. We also use that in transoms, specifically more in the deep sea boats.
Right.
You know, it can never go rotten. It
Yep.
can never go fraught. Um, it's a fantastic product. It is a bit more expensive than the other, but it's a brilliant product. So we use that in strategic places of the boat.
So between this and that, you've replaced any marine ply now. You don't use any timber products. You use either, and this was called
That's products called CUSA,
CUSA, and the other one was
SBC, which is
SPC. Just bring the SPC back in, yeah. So instead of putting timber into the boat now, we're getting a mixture of these two products,
that's correct. Yeah.
and it certainly feels a heck of a lot lighter than a piece of ply would feel,
No,
and it feels super strong as well.
yeah. Well, the CUSA is the lightest you can get.
Yep.
Is the more expensive option, and we use it mainly on the ski boats and specifically the bigger ski boats.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a brilliant product. The SBC, once again, can never go fraud.
Yeah.
It's a very strong product, a bit heavier than so your laminate does end up. This does definitely absorb more resin.
Yeah, Mike. This fraught word, for Australian viewers, they're probably going to be confused right
Rotten.
now.
Can never go
So
rotten.
rotten never
Yeah.
goes rotten.
Yeah.
Or
You can put a screw in here for a transducer or
Okay,
anything
right.
that's
Yep.
outmounted and exposed to water, and
Right.
you can't get water ingression, and it can't go rotten.
Okay.
I mean,
So when you screw into that, or you don't have to still silicone it or seal it or whatever, you just put a screw straight in.
you should
Okay.
still silicone it
Okay.
or seal it. I mean, it's always better, but
Right.
obviously this goes on the back of the whole laminate, so that
Okay.
goes on the inside
Right.
of the boat, and then there's still a layer of glass that seals it all off. But
Okay, cool.
if for whatever reason you get a hole or drill hole or any area where water can ingress, there's nothing that can deteriorate.
Okay.
Yeah. So
And
it's
of
a
course,
product.
just being that much lighter as well just makes it advantageous for the boat buyer. He's getting a product that's stronger and not as heavy, perhaps.
100%. Yeah,
Okay.
it is. We in certain areas we use a Airex foam as well.
You got some other stuff there. I'll just show us those.
Yeah, the Airex foam. This particular foam we use on decking, on shelves, on battery compartments, and all the rest.
Right.
It is a layer. It does have a layer of glass on each side. 450 chopped strand mat.
Oh, yeah, okay. I feel that.
Yeah. This is another product we use, which is a honeycomb product. We often use this in bulkheads in certain parts of the hull, vertical bulkheads, and we glass it up and bond it into the boat as well. So
Okay.
that definitely saves a bit of weight, and once again, can't necessarily go rotten.
These are all good, hey, Mike. So how is a sort of the technical department behind boat manufacturing? You've got to stay ahead of whatever is available, whatever the requirements are, and these kind of advancements that you make in boat manufacturing. How do you keep up with all that? How come your boat is so good with all this advancement in?
Yeah, it's often difficult. I mean, a lot of our suppliers, we're constantly looking at materials
Yeah.
and what we can do and can't do, and we are reluctant just to change, because often there's a learning curve involved in changing a product and a way you build a boat. But with technologies these days, you need to look at options of building a stronger, lighter product, cost saving, time, man hour saving, and a lot of these products are easier to work with.
Yep.
And do save man hours as well in the construction of the product.
So for the customer who's a little bit not so sure about no timber in a boat, what have you got to say to him about the new technology that's not using timber anymore? What have you got to say to that guy that's going, maybe I'm not convinced that I'd still like a bit of marine ply in my transom? What have you got to say to him?
Well, my advice would be these new products definitely
Yeah.
are improvements. And for many, many years we used marine ply in our transom, and it works. But we have, as I say, of late, the material we've received isn't, I believe, up to, the marine bonding glues.
Right.
The timber itself. I mean, these products can't, even if water does ingress into them, they can't dissolve or go rotten. Your engine bolts start to pull into the transom because because the material in the transom is not up to spec. And I believe that they're definitely huge improvements on marine
Well,
ply.
excellent. There you have it. This is the future of boating. Completely synthetic. It's not going to rot, and it can still hold a screw, and it's tough. I reckon that's the way to go.
Thanks, Al.
Thanks, Mike.